Hey guys, it's Spaces Sims, and we are back with more Radiant Tale, continuing the common part of Vilio's route. And we're in chapter 3, we're in Orion's. And we just had a lovely touching moment with Vilio. Gave him a little pendant. Cute little CG. Anyway, the next night, we held a meeting during dinner and exchanged any information we had found. Wow, this is so good! Yes, I obtained this sauce at a shop that's famed for their fresh squid. Oh, is this the ink pasta or whatever? I'd worried for nothing. Vilio happily chomped down Orion's specialty, squid ink pasta, before my very eyes. What a relief. He doesn't seem to be feeling sick. Guess there weren't many fiends in the forest. Is it because of that talisman? Did it really ward off evil spirits? What's with the creepy grin? We're done sharing the info, you know. Oh, whoops, sorry. I'll go put together the summary real quick. Orion's might have looked peaceful at first glance. Based on what everyone had said, the city was facing its own problems, just like all the other cities we'd been to. In the past, citizens had valued love more than anything else and cared for each other. But over time, people became increasingly concerned for only their own self-interest. They started taking things for granted, like the spirit's love. Ironic, considering the city's nickname. Even the underwater park was full of garbage. Poor spirits all lamented the situation. Everyone says that this is a city loved by spirits, but the people here don't treat them with respect or even care at all. Seeing Pashalia get mad on the spirit's behalf was not at all surprising. In that case, how about we remind them of the spirit's importance through a show? Something like, although you can't see them, you have such lovely neighbors here. Obviously, we had to get the spirits to help us in order to make the show happen. So we decided to split into 2 teams from tomorrow onward. The spirit scouting team and the advertising team. Right after I finished eating dinner. Covered my mouth, nausea burned in the back of my throat. Damn, did I eat too much? Ionid species cooking was, without a doubt, not the reason I felt this way. It was because I devoured all the fiends roaming Orion's forest. My hair color had barely turned back to normal, and this awful feeling in my stomach wasn't going away. I can't let her notice I feel terrible. Especially when I'd already told her I'd be fine. Relieved look on her face when she'd seen me chowing down remained vivid in my mind. I decided to go outside for a while, my hand clasping the amulet she'd given me. Bathed by the night breeze, I walked toward a nearby copse of trees. This is probably, I'm like reading this and I'm like, it's probably Pashalia. Because Pashalia is sick and this is like his chapter, so. I know. I'm not feeling sick though, and the water mana here is strong. My steps halted the moment I heard a voice coming from behind a tree. I don't think we'll find anyone with strong water magic though. Is that Pashalia? He was alone. He was looking down at his water hourglass. No one was around, yet he was muttering quietly. Since you don't have that much mana left, I guess we can only do like 2 or 3 more shows. After that, No, I'm not giving up yet. If I can, I want to travel for a little long. Huh? Shelly immediately raised his head when I stepped forward. Did you hear that, Vilio? Yeah? Let me just get straight to the point. Were you talking to your contracted spirit? Yeah, she was here until a moment ago. That's a lie, isn't it? A spirit with a strong presence like yours should be visible, even to normal humans. And I've never seen your spirit even once this whole trip. She's just scared of you. Like, because of your strong fire magic. Not only me, even Rady hasn't seen her. I hadn't meant to corner him. You're not a spirit contractor, are you? What makes you think that? Didn't you see me using magic? I tried one more time to get the truth. Did you synchronize with your spirit? I've heard about it before. There used to be people who, in rare cases, synchronized and lived together with a spirit. Anyone else would know about it. Shalia took a deep breath as if he was giving up before looking at me. Sorry for deceiving you all this time, but I have my own circumstances. No need to apologize. We all have some things we want to keep to ourselves. But you're my friend. I can't just pretend I didn't hear what you said earlier. I'll force you to talk if I have to. Your life's at risk, right? Hey, fine. Talk, but don't tell anyone else about this, please. Shalia then began his explanation. From a very young age, he'd suffered from an incurable disease called Vastitus? Vastitus? What did we call it? I forget. Anyway, synchronizing with a higher water spirit had saved his life temporarily, but her mana was slowly running out. Before that happened, he had to find another source of strong water mana, human he could contract with. If he wasn't able to find such a person and his spirit's mana ran out, she'd vanish and he'd die. I see. So, have you found a contractor? Not yet, unfortunately. I'm not giving up hope, though. Maybe I can find someone with strong mana in the next city. Who knows? And even if I can't, traveling with you all will be the most beautiful memory I could have ever hoped for. It's under wraps and treat me like you normally do. Sure, it's a promise. Keep this in mind, though. There's always hope. Maybe the king will help you out if you ask him. So don't you ever give up until the very end. I believe there's still hope. You don't want to die just yet. Making the last memory of your life, huh? We don't need two people in our group doing that. One's enough. Oh, it makes it sound like Vilio's mission as the Archdragon is not just, I gotta eat all the fiends, it's like I'm basically gonna die doing this. That's just, god damn it! For a light, fluffy game, they kind of make you sad, don't they? No, stop! Don't hurt our preciouses! The next day, the four of us, Vilio, Zephora, Rady, and I, headed to the underwater park to promote our show. Whoa, we're really underwater. Being able to breathe underwater feels really strange. The glistening underwater world was remarkably beautiful in the sunlight. However, it was just as Pashalia had said the night before. If you look closely, you can see the trash tourists left around. True, there's too much. The janitor can't possibly clean it all. I let out a heavy sigh as I picked up a scrap of paper that had been thrown on the ground. Shall we pick up the trash first? I can't just sit still and ignore all this garbage. We can start promoting the show once this place is clean. Use your brain a little. There's no point in picking it up if they're only going to toss more around. Better than doing nothing, though. Maybe they'll start picking up the trash if they see us doing it. Why should we do that when we could just make them take responsibility for what they've done? Having come up with an idea, Zephora grabbed Rady. Everyone, please pause for a moment. Take a look at this extraordinary fae. What? When he finally got people's attention, he raised his voice. Before your eyes is lovely Rady, a fae beast known to bring good luck and love to the people around him. With just one stroke, you can heal the pain of a broken heart, get over unrequited love, and catch the eye of everyone you meet. People started rushing towards Zephora when they heard what he said. Rady, realizing what Zephora was trying to do, backed away before the crowd could get to him. Oops! Hold it right there, friends. I only give my divine blessing to those whose hearts are pure. Look around you. Do you think someone who ignores all this trash laying around here has a pure heart? So I can get a girlfriend just by picking up trash? Here, I got some. Can I pet him now? I can pet him now, right? Thanks to that, people started collecting trash and dashed toward Rady all at once just to stroke the little creature. Wait, why are there so many people? Hey, Rady, are you alright? Leave the furball to me. Go somewhere else with the lizard. I looked around, panicked. Where are you, Vilio? Over here, Species. His red hair stuck out from afar. I tried to move in his direction, only to almost get swept away by the stampede. You okay? A strong arm fished me out of the flood of people and wrapped around my body. Oh, Vilio! Things are getting kind of rowdy here. Let's move somewhere safe first. What about Zephora and Rady? Well, Zephora probably predicted this kind of thing would happen. I'm sure he'll find a way. Yeah, you have a point. Let's leave him to it. We pushed through the crowd like fish swimming upstream. Oh, whoops. My bad. Is your arm hurt or anything? No, I'm okay. Vilio released his tight hold on me. What a crowd, huh? Does having good-looking love really matter that much? Around here it's probably a bigger deal than in some places, but lots of people like it. Brand new world to me. I don't really care about fortune-telling and stuff anyway. Guess I'm sort of the type to care about it, especially when I've got something on my mind. It boosts my confidence when my fortune's good. I guess you could say it gives me peace of mind. Really? I guess it must be hard for you to understand, huh? You're always full of confidence, after all. You're the type who solves your issues with your own power, rather than relying on fortune-telling. Vilio gave an awkward smile when I said that. Well, yeah, I used to be like that. I always tried to solve everything on my own. But you're not like that now? Nope, not since I started traveling with you guys. I realized there are things I can't do by myself. I'm bad at coming up with strategies. I can't put on a show all by myself. Vilio. He nodded, a display of deep emotion on his face as he looked into the distance. Every single thing I've seen and heard during this trip has felt new to me. We've met so many humans, and everyone's unique with their own life. I wouldn't have realized that if I hadn't joined this trip. Same here. All the dragons I saw in fairy tales seemed celestial and divine, but you're really friendly. You think so? After seeing the world with my own eyes, I've figured out what's really important. Huh? What do you mean? Unaware of my confusion, Vilio turned his eyes toward the crowd again. Wait, isn't that Rady being chased around over there? What? You're right. We've got to help him. Wait here. I'll go after him. Vilio then dashed into the crowd. Now it's just, okay, in the mental image, like, he's gonna go chase after, and then, like, one of the earlier parts when, like, Rady's hopping around in people's laps, and now I just have an image of hot Rady in man form, like, just in fucking Vilio's lap. I don't know why, that just popped in my head. I was like, I want that CG. You're welcome for the mental image. Citizens of Oriens had grown selfish. They took love and the spirits for granted. Having learned what the city's problem was, we decided to base our show's program on Pashalia's suggestion. We continued to practice for the show along with the spirits we'd recruited. And given how much water magic we planned to use in the production, Pashalia carried a heavy burden for the show. I'm nervous, yes. But as long as we're all in this together, we can do anything. I'm sure that our show today will be another success. Practice harder than usual, knowing the crisis the water spirits had to deal with. And finally, the day of the show arrived. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, dear citizens of Oriens. First, I'd like to express my profound gratitude to everyone in the audience today. May we reach the hearts of everyone here. Hear the voices of the spirits. And with that, it was time to raise the curtain. Come on, everyone. Let's greet our audience. There was a glimmer, light beginning to shine on the seats, aisles, and up the walls. Many spirits then flew to the stage and started dancing to Pashalia's beat. It is the tale of the city of Orions in our eyes as spirits. Shalia, playing a spirit, narrated the story to the spectators. Back in the day, humans and spirits lived quite close together in the city. Surely in this city that loves theatrics, people will approve of my performance. Ah, that little one's doing something fun. Let's help him. Spirits used to encourage and support humans. I want to make an oath in front of Leave and marry my girlfriend. I shall never betray her. Hear that? He wants to make Leave vows. We've all got to assemble and bless them. Bird's with me, but he's peeping at me. Ewan, why are you peeping? Spirits send blessings to those who cultivated love. Are you talking? Are you read? Nobody asked you. Can't go talk now? Can talk now that the microphone's closer to you? But everything changed after Orions had become known as a tourist spot. You only talk when I'm talking in my normal voice. You're such a brat. Humans started to only care for themselves, and the bonds between them and the spirits began to crumble. And there we go, pretty Pashalia. His gorgeous eyes. Only a few people can hear her voices. But in the past, even if we couldn't talk, our voices would still reach you. This place has changed. Everyone only has eyes for themselves. The audience watched in complete silence as Pashalia spoke for the spirits. Don't disappear, spirits! Yeah, an Orions without spirits isn't the Orions we know and love! Extremely moved by his speech, more and more voices were heard throughout the venue. Having successfully united the audience, he then unleashed his magic. Beautiful water flowers bloomed on the stage. It was a beautiful sight, drawing whoops of joy from humans and spirits alike. In the midst of the cheers and applause, the flora bloomed magnificently once again. Our show in Orions ended with a huge round of applause. Good job, guys! The audience's... Oh, that's Rady, sorry. The audience's reaction was awesome. Some of them even started picking up trash when they were leaving. And above all, we were able to bloom a flora without any problem. We all then began to dismantle the show tent while congratulating each other. And at that moment... Hey, Pashalia, how are you feeling? I'm feeling good. I tilted my head in confusion when I saw the pair chatting in a corner. What are you two doing over here? Oh, nothing. I just told him my stomach's rumbling since we moved a lot today. Right, Pashalia? Yep. Now let's clean up and hurry home. I can't wait for dinner. I got it covered. I'll make you guys the best dinner ever to celebrate our successful show. And now we've got some motivation to get all this cleaned up quick. I'll go thank the spirits who helped us out today. It's mostly thanks to Pashalia and the spirits that we pulled this show off. True, but hey, we all did our part to make it happen, you know? You're right. Good job, Vilio. I turned around and saw our show tent floating here in the underwater plaza. In that moment, it looked especially mystical. Guess you could say that it was our dreamiest show ever. You think? Mm-hmm. It was truly enchanting, just like Pashalia's nickname. At least, that's what I heard some of the girls in the audience saying. Girls, huh? So, do you like this kind of show too? I do, but more than that, I love all of the shows we've done so far, and I'm sure I'll love all the ones we'll do in the future too. I'm sure every single one becomes a lifelong memory for everyone who comes to see them. A lifelong memory, huh? Leo echoed my words with deep emotion as he followed my gaze to the tent. You know, our show doesn't even last an hour. Feels amazing to know it'll always be part of someone's memory. I completely agree. And let's not And it's not just true for the audience either. The same goes for us. Well, even when our journey comes to an end, we'll always remember the shows we've done together. I feel kind of embarrassed saying that. Anyway, let's go, Vilio. Everyone's gonna think we're slacking off if we keep gabbing away. Let's make our next show the best memory ever for everyone who sees it. Let's do it. I grabbed Vilio's hand and pulled him toward the tent. To put it bluntly... Oh no, we're Vilio. Never mind, not Vigonia. Sorry. To put it bluntly, the people in Oriens are too self-centered. They only care about themselves and ignore everybody else. Because of that, they keep squabbling and up in the fiend population. And there are less water spirits in town since their homes have been polluted. A hidden darkness blanketing a picturesque tourist city, eh? This is my third time reporting to the state of one of the cities we visited. Once I'd finished, His Majesty nodded thoughtfully. Speaking of water spirits, I seem to recall you saying Pashalia has unusual mana. I have met some people who form contracts with high-ranking spirits. While his mana is similar to theirs, I get the impression his case is different. It's as if he's a spirit rather than a human who's made a contract with one. So you noticed it too. I'm not surprised. You see, Pashalia's... What? He appears to have synchronized with his spirit. Yeah, you could say he's half-spirit. Half-spirit? I've never heard of such a thing in all my years. Perhaps I can find something if I dig into the literature. It's the first I've actually seen it. His spirit Vita said it's a forgotten technique. By the way, I have a favor to ask of you, Your Majesty. Took a deep breath, my eyes fixed on the king. It's so funny because we're doing all this stuff and like everybody gets a wish, but Vilio's like, yeah, so I got demands. You're gonna need to help Zephora. No, let Zephora do it, but have his back. Oh, and with Pashalia, you gotta do, like, Vilio keeps coming up with the demands, and the king's like, I mean, I got no choice, because you're eating fiends and saving our asses, so, like, but it's so kind of funny. Do you mind lending me the lacrima earrings to save them? Pashalia is barely scraping by, and he's completely dependent on Vita's mana. He needs powerful water magic to sustain himself. I cannot lend you the lacrima earrings so easily. They are a national treasure. Should they be stolen and misused, like the Intaglio ring, a great calamity will ensue. Do you understand what kind of risk we face if we entrust them to someone else? I'm well aware. I know that making such a request is foolish. Why do so, then? It's obvious. Because I don't want him to die. I exist to protect people. I don't want to lose any of my friends. Frowning, the king folded his arms across his chest and thought hard. Before long, he gave me a nod, having made his decision. Very well. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't dream of allowing someone to borrow a core item. But I shall make an exception just for you. I can't thank you enough. But everybody ends up, because, like, Brady is part of a core item. Ion is controlled by a core item. Zephora would have control of a core item, being the Labyrinth Sentinel. Pashalia needs the core item to live. Is it just what was the other one though? What's the one that's gonna drive Vilio here? Because like it's kind of interesting. Think about it. Anyway. No need to thank me. Rather, I still owe you a great deal for your service. The mana in your body has been distorted. Be very careful. Aw. Looking somewhat apologetic, the king ended our conversation. I tossed the chalice's contents on the ground. The gaze was fixed on the falling droplets, reminding me of my friend's predicament. I'm not gonna let this journey be your final memory, Pashalia. Aw, he's such a sweetie. You're so fluffy. You're so fluffy, my fluffy little buddy. Molting, so he looks all raggedy. And then, like, he's constantly preening himself, and there's just little fluffy feathers everywhere. He just looks so raggedy. You look so raggedy, my poor baby. My poor bird. Poor little buddy. I know you're molten, but you look so he looks so sickly. You know, molten's not fun. There's just feathers fucking everywhere. I mean, he normally molts, but this is like a bad one. This is like a big one, like where it's just like there's just little fluffy feathers everywhere, and he looks so ratty. And then he's constantly preening himself. Like all of a sudden, he just decided to do it now. Don't bite the headset. You can preen if you want. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna be covered in like 4 pounds of feathers. You're supposed to keep your feathers on your body. Poor little ratty bird. Poor bird. Makes me worry about you. I feel like, oh my god, you're not sick, are you? But no, you're just molten. You look like hell. Anyway, we're in chapter 4. Theris, the dual city, was founded by the great spirit of fire, Valen, and is composed of 9 fighting arenas. Here, all disputes and incidents are solved through combat. The strong reign supreme off the highs of victory, so the weak are always oppressed. Negative emotions linger, heavy and potent, much like the fiend's presence. But what worries me most is that I can sense them inside the city. Whatever the reason, I can't let this slide. They gotta find them first. Dun dun. Circus only had one more place to go before our journey ended. We arrived in Ferris, the dual city located in the eastern part of the country. For the big show, we held a small-scale performance to gauge the citizens' reactions. Based on what we learned from Aleste, ever since the Ferris purge 3 years ago, the people had grown disgruntled with the rest of the country over its intervention. Like 2 people applauding. It's been ages since I last saw so many empty seats. Feels kind of fresh. Sure enough, only a dozen or so people had watched our performance. We realized how difficult it would be to make our show here a success. That was when Avi, an old friend of Ion's, came to visit us. This fucker. You're like the only side character I absolutely kind of don't like. Like, Balto's a douche, but like, okay, he's technically possessed by a fiend and like whatever, but you suck, sir. You're like the side character I actually don't like. Like, the dragon was impressive, sure, but no matter how many times you perform, I bet you won't get any spectators. I forget his voice, but it doesn't matter. He also said he'd show us why barely anyone came to see us. We took him up on his invitation and visited Ferris's 7th arena, which he owned. A girl named Luna acted as our guide. Poor Luna. Once there, we witnessed a bloody match between 2 gladiators. Spectators whooped and cheered every time the combatants hurt each other. It was living proof of their motto, strength is justice. After that, later on we stopped by one of the Cheers branches and contemplated Avi's offer. No, it's simple. Let me produce your show. A fateful showdown between the strongest Fae in the world and the legendary gladiator has finally returned. Ion versus the dragon. If we make that our selling point, it'll certainly get everyone's blood boiling. He's not wrong, but his suggestion sounded plausible enough. It was certainly our best option if we wanted to entertain people in the arena. However, it would make the citizens happy. However, it wouldn't, sorry. Oh, are you all tourists? No wonder you're unaware. That's how things work in this city. The loser's always the one in the wrong. The old man I'd encountered before came to mind. I couldn't just sit still and watch the weak give up because there was nothing they could do about it. Above all else, I didn't want to do a show where my friends had to hurt each other. I'll never do it. Even if it's for a show, I can never go into a death match against Ion. We were all on the same page, but we didn't have any better ideas yet. Thus, investigation comes first, huh? Yeah, we need to learn more about the people of Ferris. We can't just focus on the excitement on the surface. We need to hear the voices of the vulnerable. Indeed. We have our own principles and methods. Right. Like always, let's start with what we can do. Well then, everyone's probably dead tired after all that's happened today, so... Investigation will begin tomorrow. All of you, get some good rest today. The consensus was that we'd split up the next day to do an investigation in Ferris. We left our base and headed toward our respective destinations. That reminds me, is Velio going to exterminate fiends here too? Brimming with curiosity, I thought about tagging along with him. It was too late, though. He was already gone by the time I made to call out to him. Never mind. In the end, I did my own solo investigation and went back home. I was hoping I could incorporate some aspects of the matches into our shows. There's really nothing we can use, though. They don't align with our values at all. Being strong wasn't a bad thing. After all, strength was an important factor in almost any sport, not just fighting. But the people of Ferris were completely obsessed. Power didn't solve everything. Even the strongest person in the world had their own weaknesses. That goes for dragons, too. The mere thought of the redhead was enough to bring a big old sigh out of me. I wonder where Vilio went. Michelle had told me he slipped out of the tent last night and didn't come back until late. He must have gone to the forest alone to kill fiends. I stopped in my tracks as my eyes slid over to the path leading to Ferris's main entrance. Let go will probably just get in his way. Still, don't. Huh? All done with your investigation, Spacey. Oh, hey, Vilio. Are you on your way back? Let's go together, then. Okay, sure. Startled by his sudden appearance, I couldn't help but peer at his face. What you looking at? Something the matter with my face? Nah, it's just handsome. Nope, just thinking it's pretty. Girl! I can't believe you outright said that! I didn't mean it in a weird way, alright? Shaking my head in panic, I leaned closer to whisper in his ear. I mean, your appearance hasn't changed at all, even though you've been eating fiends. Oh, so that's it. You really had me for a sec there, you know? And I haven't gone to the forest here yet. Huh? Does that mean there are fewer fiends here, so you don't need to go fight them? Nah, I did sense their presence coming from the forest. But also the city for some reason. You're inside the city? I covered my mouth in a hurry before anyone could hear me shout. How can that be? I still have no idea. Plus, I could be wrong. Well, like, Abby was using the ring to control Ion and whatever, but I don't remember him having Ion fight fiends, but I don't remember that being the plot point in that, but it's possible. Fiend's presence is real ambiguous, you know? They give off the same vibes as negative human emotions. Which this town absolutely has, so. Come on, there's nothing to worry about. I'll do something about it. Vilio patted my shoulder and walked ahead. And also, like, if it's that, it could just be negative human emotions. Yeah, that explains, that's like half of this fucking city. Well, I knew nothing would go wrong if I left it all in his hands. It didn't sit right with me. Oh yeah, thanks again for the talisman you gave me in Oriens. I've been feeling a lot better lately thanks to that. No problem. I wanted to do something for you after all. Could I really let him handle this alone? Feels wrong to leave everything to Vilio just because he's the only one who can do it. Say, Vilio? Teach me how to fight. Say what? He's like, eh? Wow, what a shocker. I thought you wanted to beat someone up. Sorry, I didn't mean to give you the wrong idea. I just want to be able to defend myself against fiends. I cleared things up in a hurry. After that, we went to a small public arena. Well, I don't mind teaching you a thing or two since I admire your guts. Honestly, I don't want to put you in danger, but you should learn some self-defense just in case anything happens. I'm your dedicated student for today, Master Vilio. So I'm the teacher now? Feels weird because I've always been the student. Oh, we're going to have a weird student-teacher relationship, huh? Yeah. One time I'm the teacher and he's my student, and now we're role reversing. I see. See what we're doing here. And we're getting a CG, and it's going to be ridiculous. Oh, he's got his arms around us, helping us hold a sword. Oh, dear God. With a sword in hand, I tried to assume a fighting stance as he'd instructed. Oh! Look at how pretty he looks behind us like this. So heavy! Don't force yourself to hold it with one hand. Grab the pommel with your left, too. He placed his hands over top mine, which were quivering from the effort. My heart beat a little faster from the warm sensation of his skin. Also, he's pressed against our back. Hot. To my surprise, adjusting my grip made the sword feel light enough to hold. As you know, coming in contact with a fiend can have a negative effect on you. First, get a weapon that allows you to keep your distance. We're using a sword for today, but any long melee weapon should do. Got it! Keep this in mind. Intimidate your opponent to drive him away. Just as he told me to, I got into position and swung my blade. Ha! The sword was so heavy I ended up stumbling forward. My arm! No worries. Everyone's a beginner at first. Even you, Vilio. I can't picture it. I learned swordsmanship from my clan chief back on the island. My clan chief, wow. Back on the island. Look at this dude's little fluffies on the side of his head. What is going on? I love it.
What's wrong, Vilio? You done? Why do I need to learn swordsmanship this hard? It's useless anyway. I can just change into my dragon form if a strong monster shows up. Foolish child! What if you ever encounter them in a cave or a building where you can't transform? You'd be eaten alive!
I get what you mean, but I...
Listen, Vilio. I'm not teaching you how to wield a sword so you can defeat your enemies. You must use it to protect your allies and your enemies.
My enemies too?
Exactly. Dragon's power is far too strong to be used against humans. Hence, I wish for you to master how to rein in your opponent while you're in human form. Remember that the techniques you learn here are not only for you, but also to protect your opponent.
That's why Vilio uses a sword, even though he's already powerful.
Looking back on it, I guess the chief wanted me to remember to protect anything and everything.
Your clan chief is such a nice person.
He's stubborn, old-fashioned, and feared by the people around him. Still, I've never met anyone who cares about the world as much as he does.
Was he opposed to you leaving the island?
I can't say he kept quiet about it. I wanted to know the world I'm protecting. I thought if I got to know this world, maybe I could find the resolve to protect it for real. When I said as much, everyone let me go.
He paused, shifting his gaze to the setting sun. What about now? Do you think you've learned what you were hoping to?
Yeah, I've traveled all over with you guys and met lots of people in different cities. They all seem to smile from the heart. I've come to love this world. I want to keep it safe. I wouldn't feel this way if it weren't for you and the others.
I couldn't help but feel overwhelmed. His smile was so radiant and beautiful. How can he do that? Juxtaposed with this smiling Vilio was the one who suffered so badly after consuming fiends that he couldn't even touch his food. How can he smile so brightly even though he's carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders? I stared at him for a time, unable to offer any assistance, because, if he were miserable and sad like the rest of us, then he wouldn't be able to carry the weight of the world on his shoulders. He'd just collapse. So, I had to give him a good, happy spirit to be able to balance all the agony he has to suffer. And it wasn't just me. No one in this world could aid him in his long and lonely battle. I wish I had draconic power too. I wish I could help him somehow. I feel like I wish I could help him somehow because, I wish I had dragon powers too. But having dragon powers isn't the same as being an archdragon, so it wouldn't be the same thing. But I wish I could help him is a little, more specific, I think. No, it's I wish I had dragon powers. Okay. All right. I wish I had the strength to help you. If only I had the power of a dragon, maybe I could be of some help. Shocked by my own words, I reeled in my desire. Sorry for blurting that out. Forget I said anything.
It wasn't weird or anything. Just caught me off guard. Speaking of, you changed a lot, huh? Never thought you'd want to be a dragon since you always wanted to live a normal life.
Not like I want to be one, but I want to help more. Vilio chuckled and gave me a good-natured pat on the back.
I appreciate the sentiment. Thanks, Spacey.
He then took the sword from me.
Hey, turn that frown upside down. It's not like I'm suffering just because there's no one else who can do this. I'm actually glad I'm the chosen one. Can't imagine how worried sick I'd be if it were somebody else. Nothing gives me greater joy than protecting the smiles of all those people out there. It's just like a circus show, right?
Is it really, though? No, it's not, but it's sweet of him to try to, assuage our worries by saying that. Looking at his chipper expression, I wanted to believe what he said. Considering what had happened over the last few days, I simply couldn't. It irked me to know I could never reach him, even though he was right in front of me. Feeling somewhat lonely, I started getting ready to go home. After a few days of investigating the city, we exchanged the information we'd gained thus far. In this city, physical prowess determined your position. Many people at the top of the food chain were indifferent to the laws, let alone all of the social injustices. Still, the situation seemed to have gotten a lot better after the purge operation. The destruction of the underground arena, a symbol of oppression, had a particularly big impact. That underground arena had been a stain on Ferris's legacy. Illegal matches were held day after day, forcing gladiators to fight for their lives. Despite the massive amount of income, fraud and violent crime ran rampant. It was the perfect site for murder, since fighters' deaths were treated as accidents.
Ultimately, an underground arena is the result of the whole strength is justice policy getting out of hand, isn't it?
Even if the government managed to suppress the underground arena, the root of the problem remained, however. We'd realized this when Ferris's citizens dropped by our tent out of nowhere.
I'm warning you for your own good! Get out of this city right now! I won't ever forget how those bastards from the capital came and destroyed our lives 3 years ago!
They'd taken things out on us just because we came from the capital. The purge operation 3 years years prior, led to a lot of people losing their arena jobs. Ever since then, they'd been living hard lives.
Government meddled with our city and did something nobody here wanted, damn it!
In their minds, things were way better when the underground arena still existed.
Nobody wanted it!
I'm pretty sure Ion did. Ion interjected before they could complain any further. Here we go.
If the underground arena were still around today, your lives would be much worse than they are now.
He then showed them the symbol beneath his eye patch. And we're getting our beautiful Ion CG with his tattooed mark. Holding his hair back all sexy like that. Stop it.
For 7 years, from when I was 12 to when I was 19, I fought as a gladiator.
The mark surrounding his eye was proof that he used to be an X-rank gladiator in the underground arena. Put it bluntly, while those guys were all enjoying their jobs in the underground arena, the gladiators were forced to murder each other for survival.
I repeat, the underground arena is something that should not exist in this world.
With the biggest victim of the arena standing before their eyes, the men gave up on their gripes and left. It was also in that moment that we learned about Ion's past. That was why we decided to turn Avi down once and for all. How could we pay homage to a bloodbath when we knew how much Ion had suffered during his days as a gladiator slave?
I do not want to fight. Even if it is for the sake of a show, I never want to fight someone to the death again.
Rejecting Avi's suggestion meant we had to come up with a brand new plan. Also, they keep saying that, and I absolutely understand Ion's point, but the thing is the fight between you and Villia would just be like a mock fight. You'd have to make it look real, and I guess that's, it'd be like wrestling. It'd be totally fake as fuck. But, you'd have people convinced it's legit. You know what I mean? But, fight to the death. We wouldn't actually make you fight to the death. But I still understand his point of, I don't even want a fake fight because, shit's gonna get out of hand and I don't want to relive that. And, I understand that even fake fighting is still a vivid reminder of all the shit he had to go through, and that's cruel to make him do it. But it's just funny how they keep, I'm not gonna fight Ion to the death. I don't want to fight him we wouldn't really actually make you fight to the death. Jesus, guys. Is that what Avi was really suggesting? What a shadier bastard than we thought he was. God. What can we do to get everyone in Ferris to attend our show? Not just the oppressed and the discontent, but every citizen in Ferris. Even the powerful ones who didn't realize their own cruelty. What sort of act would bring them all joy? We put our heads together, eventually agreeing to split into groups to advertise our show.
Yeah, right. I forgot. There's something I want to tell you guys.
Everyone was about to depart when Vilio called us back.
What's the catch? Still got some questions.
Actually, I sense fiends wandering around town. I haven't been able to pinpoint their exact location, so please be careful, everybody.
You can do that? I heard fiends never come out of the forest since they hate the sun.
Maybe someone brought them here.
Subjected to a questioning look from Zephora, Ion frowned.
Back when I was still a gladiator, we were sometimes pitted against fiends in the ring.
Okay, so that answers it. Abby probably has them, chained up in the underground arena. But it's weird that Vilio didn't bring up like, oh, Balto smells like a fiend. That's kind of fucked up. Like, he's 3 fiends in a human suit. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's 3 fiends in a trench coat. So like, why do we not mention that?
Fiend traders caught those creatures with illegal amulets and sold them to the underground arena.
What? Damn, seriously? Well, those guys should have been cleared out after the purge, right? Only on the surface. Evil that thrived in the shadows for so long doesn't vanish that easily.
How do you fight fiends, though? Do you need an amulet for each match?
We did, yes. However, we rarely fought them in the first place, especially when it came to the finals. After all, the spectators were more excited to see humans fight each other.
And they preferred to see humans offing humans, did they? How sickening!
Ginia grimaced in disgust. Zephora rubbed his chin, seemingly lost in thought.
What's wrong, Zephora? It's just strange. Based on what I've found, traders did sell fiends to the underground arenas. But those numbers aren't decreasing at all, even after the place's destruction. In fact, they're going up.
I don't understand. Ion said matches with fiends were hardly ever held to begin with. As everyone worked to puzzle it out, Vilio chimed in.
Ion, have you ever fought a gladiator whose behavior seemed off? I do not know about off, but some did grow quite aggressive during matches. It was as if they had changed completely. I was always too in the moment to consider it, but looking back, I do think they were acting strangely. So their personalities changed, huh? Did they get drugged or what?
It wasn't anything like the lunatic riots.
I would say they seemed a bit different than the victims of the lunatic riots. How do I put it? I felt like I was fighting real fiends. It's because they'd already turned into fiends themselves.
Vilio's face was grim and taunt as he said it. They became fiends?
Exactly. Fiends can possess human beings.
Again, hi, we know. This is the first time we're all hearing about it, but from there, Vilio began his explanation. When a fiend first manifested, it looked like a black mystic flower. Only when it grew to a certain point could it take a humanoid shape and move independently. Once fully matured, it would begin attacking humans and taking over their bodies. Fiends can take over our bodies? Is this public knowledge? I've never heard anything like it before.
I know. Only a few people know about this, like the royal family and the higher-ups in the security forces. If the rest of the world finds out about it, we're in for absolute chaos.
Maybe people stop being dicks. Nah, they'll just start hoarding toilet paper. Never mind.
That's why the security forces patrol and exterminate fiends while they're still hatchlings.
Is that the flower form? Hatchling! When a fiend first manifests, they look something like a black mystic flower. The fiend grows until they can take on a human form and move on their own. At this point, they are deemed hatchlings. Public security forces are still working to destroy fiends while they're still hatchlings. So the hatchlings is when they're just the blobs, but I feel like you should take them out when they're flowers. What happens if you're possessed by a fiend?
You'll succumb to your negative emotions and turn hostile. Nothing can save you after that.
That's horrible. I never knew fiends were so dangerous.
I just hope they haven't reached maturity. If you see them, run away ASAP and let the security forces know.
Maturity, a stage in the development cycle of fiends. At this stage, fiends have grown to the extent that they can attack humans. They are big hazards that can possess people and cause a fiend transformation. They must be defeated as soon as possible. In light of Vilio's warning, the rest of us agreed to be on high alert. And I guess because like Avi has the ring and like he can stamp people, right, and control them, but they said the more people that get branded with the ring, the harder it is to control. So like if you were just controlling Ion and Luna, cool, but you brand 10 people, it's harder to control those individual people. Right? So the best way around that is if I get people to get possessed by fiends, then let those possessed people out into the arena, then they're going to fight each other, and I don't have to control them, but they're so bloodthirsty and crazy that they're going to fight each other to the death, and it's like, you know what I mean? So, like, the fiends is, like, the next best thing to having that ring and controlling people. You know?
A few hours had gone by since we'd started promoting our show. I called out to Ion when I saw him in the audience seats. What's up, Ion? You here to watch the matches, too?
Oh, hello, Vilio. And no, I am not. I'm resting in this arena because there are no bouts occurring here.
Yeah, I sure would be surprised if you did want to see him.
You're right. It's not something I can enjoy.
As Ion pressed a hand over his right eye, I seized my chance to broach the subject. You said you were branded with that symbol when you were a gladiator slave?
I did.
Not just a regular mark, is it? I can sense a strong fire spirit's power from it. Ion hesitated for a moment. After a time, he let out a deep sigh. He must have figured there was no point in hiding it anymore.
It is a domination seal engraved upon me with the Intaglio ring's power. Those with the seal cannot go against the ring bearer's orders.
Dear God, that scared the shit out of me. Phone just rang, but I'm like, holy fuck crap. It scared the shit out of me, guys!
For instance, should I be ordered to kill you all, I would be forced to do so without a second thought.
I see. Is that why you were trying to keep your distance from us?
Correct. During my gladiator days, I obeyed without fail and killed dozens of people. And this mark will never disappear. I've always lived in fear of the shadow it casts on my life, even now.
You should just take the Intaglio ring then. That way people can't order you around anymore, right? He gaped at me, dumbfounded by the suggestion I'd offered so easily.
Perhaps, but the ring was lost during the purge operation, and it has been missing these past 3 years. Even if we happen to find it, the ring is a core item, a national treasure. A formerly enslaved gladiator like myself does not deserve to be the bearer.
Then how about you claim some kind of title? Like, say, Kultura's Labyrinth Sentinel. Jokes aside, you can't just give up. Sure, your dreams will come true. I'll be here to lend a hand if you need me.
It was really weird when Vilio was like, why don't you just become a Labyrinth Sentinel? Did you not? That's a forest position. He's like, anyway, just kidding. You better fucking be kidding. Don't talk about our boyfriend like that.
Easier said than done.
Ion muttered the words, still flabbergasted.
I do not know why, but
his face lit up with a warm, bright smile.
I feel like my dream really will come true when you tell me so.
It absolutely will. I'll make it happen. It was the least I could do to repay his kindness. With that in mind, I gave Ion a nod.
Back to me.
Our investigation in Ferris was finished. Following that, we approached Abby to reject his proposal. We wanted to hold a show on our own without relying on him.
Can't believe you turned down a guy's kind offer. Oh well, good luck with the show.
Abby clearly wasn't happy about it. For old time's sake, he did agree to help us advertise the event. One week later, after all our promotion and practice, the big night was finally here. In contrast to our first performance in Ferris, the venue was packed with spectators.
Can't wait to see what kind of fight we'll see between a human and a dragon.
Hey, Luna, I brought the children with me just as you asked.
Can we really watch the show for free?
I heard they're hoping to see lots of people here.
Citizens of all ages and genders filled the seats. For the people of Ferris, we had chosen one specific tale. It followed Arthur, the founder of this country, and the four great spirits by his side. There was also the dragon Regules, a close friend of Arthur's. Regules? Regules? I don't Regulus? Regules? Ragu? The pasta sauce? I don't know. Listen. Ragulis! Whatever way you say it, it sounds so fucking wrong.
Yet another important human has come. Oh, imprudent. Another imprudent human has come, I see.
Jesus Christ, I can't read today, guys. Arthur, played by Ion. For the show, we had Vilio play Regules, while Ion took on Arthur's role. The powerful dragon initially saw Arthur as an enemy and tried to drive him away.
I'm not here because I want to challenge you. I am here because I want to be your friend.
Realizing that the man didn't come to fight, Regules began to take an interest in him. Despite having immense power, Arthur never used it to show off or harm other people. His strength was not the kind the dragon had come to believe was universal.
I shall admit it, Arthur. You're the strongest person in the world.
Eventually, Regules recognized Arthur's strength and even hoped to befriend him. And there's our beautiful Ion CG.
True strength is not just about physical prowess.
Ion was probably the only one who could speak from the heart on that, given that he'd been a victim of the city's ways. His poignant remarks stirred the souls of the citizens who were so obsessed with brawn. I wondered if the emotions we'd poured into this performance had touched their hearts. When the curtain finally fell, Flora bloomed beautifully amid fervent cheers and applause. Good work out there, guys! Just like any other show, our performance in Ferris ended on a high note. We chatted away in the tent, which had yet to cool after all the heated excitement.
Did you see that full house? We never would have had that if it weren't for me and my supreme advertising.
Don't get cocky, Shorty. You literally stumbled over your lines.
Rady did a great job. We all did. But I'd say the MVPs of the show are Ion and Vilio.
You may say that, but I felt it was obvious that I was struggling the entire time.
Hardly. The role fit you like a glove. The same goes for your Regules, Vilio.
Well, we are both dragons.
I thought Vilio would be happier to hear Ginnia's compliments. Instead, he wore a vague smile. Maybe he was tired out from the performance. It bothered me so much that I kept sneaking sidelong glances at him. He's like,
He really is Regules.
What's wrong, Spacey? Something on your mind?
Oh, nothing really. I was just marveling at the fact that we've already made 4 Flora bloom.
I know, right? Our long journey is finally coming to an end. And now we just need to return to Arthur and put on our last show, so...
Ginnia wouldn't get to finish his sentence.
Uh,
Ion and Vilio's head snapped up and they stared at the tent's entrance.
Is that you, Avi?
Is Avi possessed by fiends? That's interesting.
Hey, I didn't see you in the audience. Did you come running to congratulate us?
I don't remember having to fight Avi as a... We did that in Zephora's route as Balto, but I don't remember Avi... Avi had the ring and controlled Ion, so it's interesting that he's possessed by fiends in this. Because that's changing the whole concept of, like, Ion's route. Avi ignored the sarcastic remark and trudged closer to us, eyes glued to the ground. Because he's all gray. He took one unsteady step after another until he was standing in front of Ion.
Why?
Why what?
Oh, okay. So I thought maybe he was possessed by fiends, but no, he's just being a dick. But again, they're having this come out now. Well, I mean, I guess we kind of already. I mean, I don't know.
Why'd you do that? It's too late, you bastard!
Ion quickly caught hold of the other man's fist before it hit him. Oh, no PS fiend.
Ah! Ah!
Undeterred, Avi delivered a punch so mighty it sent Ion flying backwards. He had the glow around him, so he was possessed. Ion, are you okay?
Hey, hold on! What's with that insane power?
What's gotten into you? Do you have a grudge against us for rejecting you, or what?
He's acting weird. I sense strange mana emanating from him. I ran to help Ion back to his feet, then turned my gaze on Avi. The hand he used to punch Ion looked to be broken. Paying no mind to his injury, he glared daggers at Ion.
Get back, guys! Now!
Vilio stepped forward with his sword at the ready. He chewed his lip in frustration.
What are you doing, Avi?
You guys are the ones who said power ain't everything. Are you really gonna say that now? Huh? Answer me, Ion!
Vilio immediately blocked Abby's next strike. Abby pushed himself against the sword and jumped backwards.
He's moving like a beast. Emilio, could this be...
Yeah.
Yes, we saw that flash. Yeah, he's, I don't think... So, I feel like in Ion's route, Abby wasn't possessed by fiends like Balto is. But again, maybe he was using the fiends like he was going to control Ion and use the fiend, whatever. But like, he absorbed the fiend. I don't remember this in Ion's route, like... But it's also strange that they brought it out here in Vilio's route, but...
He's transforming into a fiend!
The moment those words left Vilio's lips, a dark miasma seeped out of Avi's body. His aura was so eerie that even a non-mage like me could feel it. We were speechless.
A fiend? But how?
He must have been attacked by a fiend in town, like Vilio mentioned.
There's no time for talk. Look out!
Avi leapt forward at an inhuman speed and landed a punch on Ion. Ion struggled to stop the blow while Avi broke into a half-formed rant. The ferocity in his eyes was intense.
Why didn't you do that sooner, you bastard? My brother wouldn't have had to die. If only you did it sooner. Why didn't anyone save him?
He screamed incoherently as he swung his fists at Ion again and again. Ion must have found it hard to fight back against his acquaintance. His defenses grew weaker and weaker with time. That was until Vilio jumped in the fray and punched Avi himself.
Don't hesitate, Ion. He's turning into a fiend.
Oh, we're getting a CG, bitches? Hot, flickering flames sprang to life around his hands as he stepped closer to Avi. Oh my god, this one's good. It doesn't even look like Vilio. It's like Vilio's hot older brother. It's like the intensity. He's normally so adorable, and he's got this intensity in him. I like it. What are you planning to do?
We have no choice but to kill him. He's beyond saving at this point.
They didn't keep that CG for long, huh? All of us were thinking it, but Ginia was the only one who dared say it aloud. He still can't talk, though. Why does he have to die? Oh, he can still talk, though. Sorry.
It was the fiend who forced him to say all those words. His negative emotions are running wild. He's basically a corpse now. His words are meaningless.
We had no way to prove whether Ginia's claim was true or not. Oh, back to the CG, good. As Abby tried to get back to his feet, Vilio thrust out his left hand.
Forgive me. Save all that resentment for when we meet again in another world. Wait, Vilio, let me... No, this is my duty.
Flinging those words behind him, Vilio shot a roaring flame toward Avi. Instantly, the man burned away completely.
It's like really sad that Vilio had to do that, like, in front of everybody. It's just he had to do it to begin with, but... And that's where we're gonna leave this part. That little bit of trauma. So anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.